a teenager who's got Zimbabwean roots in the UK, Shumaira Mheuka, has made his Premier League debut for Chelsea on Tuesday night, coming on late in their 4-0 win over Southampton. The 17-year-old forward is highly rated and was featured in the Guardian's Next Generation 2024, a list of the best young talents at Premier League clubs. Mheuka, who's the son of former Zimbabwe midfielder Mheuka, will be hoping to build on his breakthrough and push for more minutes in with the first team at Stamford Bridge. So good news. Well, if he decides to represent Zimbabwe, because God knows at this moment we need every player that's playing at the highest level.
And I think, with some of the positiveness that we've seen with us obviously returning to AFCON, putting the band behind us, we've got a new board. I think it is very important not just to look at what we want to do in the immediate future, but creating an enticing environment. Because right now, all right, you think about Tawanda Chirera, for example. He's never played football in Zimbabwe. He's played for Zimbabwe. So I think we need to create that environment where the Isaac Babayas, the Trey Nyonis, all those kids who are of Zimbabwean heritage but born in the UK can find motivation to want to come and play home. Right now, obviously, maybe you can say, okay, AFCON, but some people are saying it's not a major tournament. That's a conversation for another day. I'm not going to get into that debate. But I think we really need to entice them. And it is encouraging now, especially when you see players that have come and they've been able to get a shot in with the Warriors and then obviously make an impact. Maybe that even improves their rating back at their clubs. I think if that situation happens, because obviously there's always the carrot of them playing for England, but the competition is going to be much, much tighter. We've seen so many players at age group. I don't expect most of them to commit, especially if they're playing for big teams like Chelsea or Liverpool. But eventually, if we create the right structures, we want to go the direction that your Ivory Coast has gone, your Cameroon has gone in terms of they had players playing in the French top flight and all these one of those big 5 leagues, and then coming back. I mean, Didier Drogba basically grew up in France, but he was a Ivory Coast legend. So there's that possibility, but we have to create the Warriors brand to be appealing. Right now, I think it's in its formative stages as we rebuild. So Michael Nice, I think, obviously maybe he might be able to convince some of these youngsters, but it has to reflect in our performances. We have seen a bit of improved organizational structure with the normalization committee. We haven't really had too much noise about allowances. Even when players have come, we haven't had too much noise. So we need that consistently, and then we need to make sure the Warriors brand is as comparable to the Indomitable Lions, to Bafana Bafana, to Super Eagles. I think once it's mentioned in the same breath, and that only comes with performances, and not just performances in terms of just winning a game here or there, but qualifying for major tournaments, not just
and AFCON. Winning at these major tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, if we start making it to the knockout stages of AFCON, and I think the biggest turning point for us, it might be a bit far-fetched now, would be qualification for World Cup. I'm telling you, once we qualify for World Cup, you will have even people that we don't know telling you my great-grandmother was born in Zimbabwe. And
so my roots are in Zimbabwe.
Yeah,
because Veronica, we have seen, I'm going to give 1 or 2 examples. For example, Andy Rinomota, he was playing for Reading at some point. He was on top of his game. And I remember they tried to lure him to come to play for Zimbabwe. And then, we were just minnows more than what we are right now. And he could not commit to come and play. But now when it's seemingly like, looks like their career is coming to an end, that's where you see players wanting to come and play for Zimbabwe. How do we go, and convince those boys that, look, besides what Mr. T just said, look, we need to have the Warriors as a very appealing brand. But what else can we do?
I think just like Mr. Teach said, it's all about trying to inspire confidence in these players so that they see the value of them coming to do duty for the Warriors. But as long as Tikarambatiri, those Warriors, the minnows, who no one really talks about, instead of talking about the positive stories, they usually hog the limelight over negative stories. Allowances, there was such, they threatened a strike and stuff. No one wants to be associated with that.
Yeah.
But as long as we restore sanity within Zifa, within the Warriors camp, everyone would want to come and do duty for the national team.
Yeah. What do you think?
Just a quick one as well. I think even just to come back on that point about having a home ground. Imagine back in the days, I think we have to go back maybe early 2000s, maybe even further back to the 90s, you know, the Cauldron, that was the National Sports Stadium. Imagine being able to transmit those images now with the power of social media. You know, Mabaya is sitting in England, he sees a clip on Twitter of fans saying, "Baya, baya." Do you know what it can do in terms of saying, you know what, I want to be part of that? Because I think as much as they might have grown up in the UK and they're part of that system, I think everybody has got a longing of wanting to belong. And as much as they know they can probably represent England if they are good enough, they also want to connect with their own.
Yeah.
So we need. It's not just about what we do. It's holistic. We need.
It goes beyond football.
Yeah, it goes beyond football. Yeah, we need brand warriors. It's something that Magwizi said. I don't know if he's going to follow through with it, but Kangana, you said you're improving the brand. We're watching.
And the brand is not family and marketing. As long as our marketing team is in slumber, then apana shatrukit. Because we need those guys to create the visibility for the team.
It's your premier football show, The Couch, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Konapo, Ipapo, Pazetium Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.